Welcome to the world of ABB Formula E. The new season is just about to kick off on the streets of Diriyah, Saudi Arabia, and we're going to be there every step of the way to take you through it. This is the most competitive championship in motorsport, with 24 world-class drivers racing for 12 teams.
The new additions of German giants Porsche and Mercedes-Benz mean there are now more manufacturers battling it out in Formula E than in any other racing series. The street fight will play out across 14 rounds in 12 iconic cities across the globe, bringing the closest and most competitive racing direct to city centers.
The all-electric cars can hit 100 kilometers per hour in 2.8 seconds and go on to reach speeds of 280 kilometers per hour on the streets of your cities. The races, known as E-Prix, last 45 minutes plus one final lap. It's all hands on deck in a strategic battle of energy management and raw speed.
To mix things up on the track, there's Fan Boost, where 5 drivers picked by the fans get a one-time power boost during the race. And then Attack Mode, where drivers can access a 15% power boost by driving through an activation zone which is off the racing line. Choosing the perfect time to activate their attack mode is crucial to a good performance, and one mistake could change the course of the race completely.
ABB Formula E is fast, action-packed, and absolutely electrifying. And here on Street Races, we're going to be bringing you the very best of it. So let's get stuck in. In this episode, we've got all the news as newcomers Porsche and Mercedes struggle to get up to speed at the major pre-season test in Valencia.
We catch up on the latest developments in Formula E's support series, the Jaguar I-Pace E-Trophy.
And find out who's ready to take the fight to the streets as we count down to the first race of the new season.
But first, let's check in with the current ABB Formula E champions. Last season was one of the most competitive battles that motorsport has ever seen. Both the teams and the drivers' championship titles went right down to the wire.
DS Techeetah swept both trophies, winning the team's championship and their second consecutive drivers' championship, as Jean-Eric Vergne became the first ever two-time Formula E champion. Techeetah, like all other Formula E teams, test in private over the summer break, keeping their innovations and developments away from prying eyes. The annual Valencia test is the first time that the teams hit the track together, so naturally, all eyes were on the man who lifted the trophy and his brand new teammate Antonio Felix da Costa. We caught up with the champ during testing to see how he was feeling about the season ahead.
Really happy to be back in the car testing here in Valencia, and so far everything feels good. Well, the team is working really well as a whole, starting to work with Antonio. It's so far everything is really good. We work very well together, and I welcome him nicely in the team. It's good to have him here, and yeah, so far so good.
Antonio Felix da Costa was one of the summer's most high-profile signings after he left BMW I Andretti for DS Techeetah to fill the vacant seat left behind after Andre Lauderer completed his move to Porsche.
Just learning everything, new team, so just getting up to speed with the new methods of working and how to approach a race weekend and a test even. So just learning everything and yeah, getting there. We've been pretty fast, which is good. It's like after 3 days of testing, everyone just gets so close. So we're now talking about hundreds of seconds between all of us. So yeah, just making sure we go through all our test items and make sure we're ready for round 1.
After the final day of testing, Antonio managed to set the 4th fastest lap time, way ahead of Jev in 11th. Could we see a new teammate rivalry on the horizon? We'll find out in the next episode when Jean-Eric Verne will be your special guest host straight from round 1 in Diriyah. The Valencia pre-season test is important to everyone in Formula E, but none more so than the new teams of Tag Heuer Porsche and Mercedes-Benz EQ. The testing session runs across 3 days, and for the Mercedes-Benz rookie Nick de Vries, it was far from plain sailing.
So I didn't have a great deal of time in the car yet, even in private testing, and Valencia has been pretty tough for us so far, I wouldn't deny that. Day 1 we had a lot of unexpected issues to deal with, and then yesterday I kind of compromised our day because I crashed in turn 2 in the morning. We still managed to get out, but apparently we picked up some other issues, and therefore we didn't really have any running in the afternoon either. So it's been a steep learning curve so far.
Testing here at Valencia for us has been a mixture of highs and lows, if I'm brutally honest. Nick unfortunately has borne the brunt of those issues so far. Stoffel's had a little bit more of a chance to get some mileage under his belt. So we're looking forward now to sort of regroup and hopefully get ourselves well prepared for the journey ahead.
After the final day, the boys from Mercedes came 20th and 21st in the lap time rankings. Whether this is down to their earlier mechanical issues is still up for debate, but it certainly looks like they're a long way from stamping their dominance on this formula.
It wasn't just Mercedes who struggled for pace in Valencia, as the fellow newbies at Tag Heuer Porsche also had a rocky start to their pre-season test.
It's been a bit rough 2 first days. Neil had an issue with the chicane and on the first day, and I had an issue with the chicane on the second day, so we didn't have as much running time as we wanted, but we're progressing, we're learning a lot. Obviously this racetrack is not very Formula E representative, so they don't find those corners. But still, we try to make the best out of it and gather all the information and try to improve every time we get out.
Finishing in 19th and 22nd place, the Porsche team have also got some ground to make up as they head into the first race in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia. Can the 2 German giants deliver on their promise? We'll have to wait and see. The Valencia test is important because it's the first chance that the teams get to benchmark their performance against their competitors, so everyone pays very close attention to the timing screens. Across the 3 days, lap times are measured and compared, and at the end of the event, they are compiled into a leaderboard. These times, however, don't tell the full story.
They are a good indicator of pace across one flying lap, but as the Valencia circuit is very different to a regular Formula E track, timing results can often be misleading when it comes to race performance. Despite this, the teams and drivers are still fiercely competitive. This year, the results were closer than ever.
Out of the 24 drivers on the track, the top 22 all set lap times within 1 second of each other. And topping the table was BMW's new recruit, Max Günther. He was quick across all 3 days, but he set a blisteringly fast time of just over 1 minute and 15 seconds in the final test session to hold on to his top spot and the bragging rights.
His teammate at BMW, Alexander Sims, was also quick, setting the 7th fastest lap time only a quarter of a second behind Max. Spirits were clearly high in the BMW camp as we caught up with the boys to see how they're feeling about the season ahead.
It feels fantastic. I mean, I'm very honored and proud to be now in the BMW family, to be a factory driver for BMW in Formula E. Feel good in the car, feel good in the team, very nice people.
The atmosphere in the team's pretty good, to be honest. We've had some successful private test days. It's lovely to be here in Valencia to get a bit of a gauge of where we are versus the competition. I think most people would agree that it's not really until we get to that first qualifying session do we really find out where everybody is. But yeah, it's been good preparation so far.
Gunter moved to BMW from Dragon this season to fill the vacancy left by Antonio Felix da Costa after his move to the reigning champions DS Techeetah.
I believe last year I've had a very steep learning curve in general in Formula E, and of course one topic as well is energy management. Last year we've been really aggressive in many races, because this was the chance for us to get some points sometimes. And this year things are changed. I'm in a different team now with BMW, and just really look forward to this challenge. Can't wait to get the new season started.
We also can't wait to see all the guys throw down at the first race in Diriyah. In this show, we're counting down to the start of the new season, and we'll be hearing from the teams and drivers later on. But first, let's take a look at Formula E's very own support series. The Jaguar I-Pace E-Trophy Championship sees a grid of identical race-modified Jaguar I-Pace SUVs compete against each other on the same street tracks as Formula E.
Last season, across 10 rounds, the 12 drivers battled it out for the glory of being crowned the inaugural series champion. 5 different winners in the first 5 races meant that by the time the championship touched down for the final races in New York, the title fight was wide open, with all of the 5 winners in with a shot.
And we go green in New York City. Can Jimenez wrap up the title around the streets of Brooklyn?
After a flawless performance, Sergio Jimenez went on to win the inaugural championship. The Jaguar I-Pace E-Trophy Championship is back for the new season, but this time it's going to be better than ever.
Like Formula E, the series will now feature attack mode, which will bring even more competitive racing, while new teams and drivers will face off with returning veterans, including one man on a mission to defend his title.
I'm back.
Honestly, was there ever a point during last season that you doubted that you'd become champion?
No, that's what I do.
Sergio Jimenez is the inaugural Jaguar I-Pace E-Trophy Series champion.
Well, being the first champion, more people looking, but for me, I don't care. I think I make history. My aim was to win the championship all the time. We have a lot of hard races, rain during the races, and some chaos, but I always keep calm, study, I plan, I think. That's was the secret to win the championship. For me, a special race was Hong Kong because I have a problem in the qualifying and I start last. For me, you always need to be positive. You need to be focused on what your aim is. I always put a very high targets and go to catch them. I said I will get the podium, and I get the podium in the last turn.
Simon Evans off and in the wall. Jimenez got the podium at the final corner.
Round 1, it's about to start in Saudi. I'm very excited about that, and be a winner there will be massive.
We'll find out in just a few weeks if Sergio can start out the defense of his title with a win at the first of the doubleheader rounds in Saudi Arabia.
One of the founding ABB Formula E teams is Audi Sport's Abt Schaeffler. The prestigious German manufacturer has competed in every single race so far, and uniquely in Formula E has fielded the same driver lineup since day one. There's good reason for their consistency too. Lucas Di Grassi won the Drivers' Championship for Audi in 2017 after narrowly missing out in 2016. And in partnership with Daniel Abt, they've won the Teams' Championship in 2018. 40 podium finishes between them is impressive, but in recent years the teams have struggled with inconsistency.
Di Grassi's up the inside, Di Grassi's in the wall, Evans is in the wall.
has been a very slow start for Audi for the last 2 seasons actually. Season 4 was even worse. We had 4 DNFs in 4 races. And then last year also the beginning was not so good, but then we came back quite strong. We are trying to keep the approach of what we did in the end of last season, which was quite good, to continue this season. So keep the same personnel, keep them motivated. This is I think is what's important.
In the end, I think it's just about getting everything right. I think what is really good this season is that my team has not changed, meaning I have the same race engineer, the same people around me, which just puts on another level starting the season. And of course, the car needs to be quick. That's also something we're working on, and then we need to get it right and do it. I mean, we've done it before, so it's not that we don't know how it works, but we need to repeat that. It's a big challenge for the car and the driver, because the car is constantly moving. You're always under pressure, and at the same time, every little mistake means you hit the wall, your car's damaged, you might not make the race, all this kind of stuff. So I really love being out there. I love the thrill, I love the racing, and I think for the fans at the same time, it's also so good to be in a city, to have a surrounding, to have all that vibe and energy that the city brings with it, and at the same time being at the racetrack. I think that's the coolest combo that exists.
Very excited to be back. Has been a long time since we raced last time in New York, and Saudi is still a few weeks away. So we try to use this extra time to learn different stuff, to do different stuff. But of course, in the back of my mind is always counting the days for the first race.
The Valencia test didn't look so positive on paper for Audi, as they ended up setting the 16th and 17th fastest laps overall.
Every session there is a different manufacturer on top. Everybody's super fast. I think again from the 12 teams you're going to have 10 or 9 teams winning races next year. So the best thing is to worry about myself, look how we can improve as a team and try to extract the most of what we can. I'm not in this championship to beat Jev or to beat any other given driver. I'm there to beat everybody. So it's the most competitive championship in motorsport at the moment, and that's the beauty of Formula E.
Also at Valencia, the Monegasque Venturi racing team were taking their first steps at shaking down their brand new Mercedes-supplied powertrain. Despite the switch away from building their own motor and gearbox, they've decided to stay consistent with their driver lineup.
On one side of the garage, they've got Eduardo Mortara, who took his first Formula E race win last season in Hong Kong. On the other side, they have Felipe Massa, Formula One legend and Monaco resident. He took his first podium in his rookie season on home soil last time out.
Happy to be back on the car, back on the season, back on the preparation for the new season. Looking forward for this new challenge. It's a lot of work. You know, we have actually the same teams, but a completely new system. You know, especially in the powertrain from Mercedes, which is quite positive. But it's a lot of work. You know, because time is short, and we want to be ready for the first race of the season.
First day was like quite tough. We had like some issues, but we're solving like all these little problems slowly but surely. And second day was already like much better. We could extract more and more performance out of the car, and hopefully, you know, the last day of testing will be even better. The new powertrain from Mercedes will help us, you know, in the development of our car. They will take care of development of the softwares. And that will leave us like more time, let's say, to exploit, you know, and to extract the potential of our car.
I see already a lot more positive things compared to what we had last year. Testing is like that, you know, you always need to use the testing to prepare things in the right way, and that's what we're doing.
In the end, you know, what makes, you know, this sport fun is to fight for the first positions. I'm not here, you know, to finish second, so hopefully, you know, this will be the case.
Could that new Mercedes powertrain put them consistently in the mix for podium places? Will they be quicker than Mercedes EQ themselves? That would be interesting. One of the teams that Venturi will be fighting against is the Indian outfit Mahindra. They've also decided to keep hold of their drivers, the Formula E veteran Jerome D'Ambrosio and young hotshot Pascal Wehrlein.
We've had good results last year, but still missing race wins. I've had pole positions, now podiums, and I want to have that race win. I think the competition this year has made another step up. The whole competition is so close, so I'm expecting a very hard fight for the positions. We have a new car, so yes, so far no technical issues. We've collected a lot of data, we've done a lot of laps. We've done short runs for qualifying performance, we've done long runs for race performance. We've done a race simulation yesterday, so overall it's been a good test so far.
I think it's going to be the most competitive season that we've ever seen in Formula E. Look at the timesheet yesterday. Half a second, 17 cars, that says it all. I think we have a good car. We should have a good car and a competitive one. We're a good team, we work well together, we've moved everything in-house. It's been a bit of a transition, but on the mid-long term I think definitely it's going to be a positive. And to keep that spirit, to keep the group really tight and allow us to work in the best and most efficient possible way. This is Formula E. I think anyone's a potential contender. A lot of us are potential contenders. And so there's not one in particular. I think you have to look out for everyone.
The clock is ticking until the season kicks off, so let's have a look at where the ABB Formula E Championship will be taking us this year, and hear from some of the drivers about their favourite host cities. The season opener is a double-header street fight in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia, on a unique street circuit with huge elevation changes. Next up is South America at round 3 on the scorching streets of Santiago, Chile.
Really looking forward to going back to Santiago, actually.
Place like Santiago, which is very close to Brazil, so I feel a lot welcome, from the people there.
Formula E Santiago. Moving north, the Fiesta heads to Mexico and the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit in the heart of Mexico City. Round 5 is in Africa in the bustling Moroccan city of Marrakesh. Then it's over to the Far East as Sanya, China hosts round 6 on a stunning beachside circuit.
In Europe, the championship arrives in historic Rome.
I like to go racing like in Rome.
I do enjoy Rome.
I like Rome.
Really looking forward to go to Rome. That track just looks super exciting. I think with the jump in that high-speed left-hander, that's something unique. You will not find that anywhere else.
You get 4 wheels off. Oh yes, look at that, lovely.
Obviously a lot of history there. There's a good atmosphere in the city, so I really enjoyed that.
And following Rome, it's Paris, the city of love.
Paris as well, being right in the heart of the city, is simply incredible.
Next up, it's a brand new race in the South Korean capital city of Seoul, followed by another exciting new location in Jakarta, Indonesia.
From the new venues, Korea, for example, because I've never been there.
But also going to Jakarta, I think, is going to be very exciting. Never been. Bringing Formula E into such a city is something super exciting.
Back to Europe, and round 11 is hosted at the historic Tempelhof Airport in Berlin, Germany.
Round 12 is a showdown on the streets of Brooklyn, New York City.
And obviously this year we're going back to London.
A unique venue in London's historic Docklands hosts a championship-deciding double-header race weekend with a groundbreaking indoor track section.
Yeah, the fact that we are racing on street circuits all the time is very, very challenging for everybody.
Formula E, it's great because it gives you the possibility, while you're doing your job, to also travel around the world and discover new cultures. So that's great.
A spectacular calendar for a super exciting championship. And here on Street Racers, we're going to be bringing you all the highlights.
So that's all we got time for in this show, but we'll be back next time with all the action straight from Diriyah. And for one show only, your special guest host will be none other than reigning champion Jean-Eric Vergne. You won't want to miss this.